Can y'all see this? Y'all see this man? Y'all see this man? This man, this white Jesus has a hold on me. Has a hold on me. Hold on, I gotta turn off my heat and I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna keep going as the heat blows because this is one of those kinds of this is one of those kinds of videos. This is a chill kind of video where I just want to reflect on something I've noticed that relates to white Jesus. So as I think we all know, Jesus, the person, was a Jewish man from the Middle East. But depending on where you grew up, the Jesus that you saw in imagery maybe matched your face and your religion. I know I have a friend who's Haitian, and all of the biblical figures look Haitian, and all the like books and like in the church and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if you've seen 22 Jump Street, but you know, it takes place in LA or something. I actually have no idea. But the point is that in it, it has like a Korean Jesus, and they go to a Korean church and they have a Korean Jesus. So if you're lucky, and we know there's a black Jesus, like we know people will take these sort of spiritual religious figures and make them match our own imagery just to make it easier to relate. But I didn't grow up with a black Jesus or even a Middle Eastern Jesus. I grew up with a straight up European white man, blonde haired, blue eyes Jesus, you know? And I was just reflecting on how powerful it has been on my psyche to have Jesus, who I associate with like all love, kindness, gentleness, compassion, grace, like selflessness, sacrifice, like all the best things you can be as a person. How maybe problematic maybe it is that I have associated that with a just very handsome European white man, you know? And of course that is intentional. We know that that was intentional. I did just the barest amount of research for this video. Y'all know how I feel about research when it comes to my YouTube videos. We operate on pure vibes over here. So I did basically no research for this video, but I did Google like white Jesus or something, and it talks about how essentially, I shouldn't even reference it because it's so unrooted in research, but essentially basically they made images of Jesus and they tried to strip him of the Jewishness as the white folks. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend I'm a scholar on this topic. What I actually really want to talk about was two things. One is that my spiritual teacher, Thomas Hubel, young Thomas Hubel looks like the images of white Jesus, and how that influenced my choice to start healing my trauma is because the person who was leading the trauma healing program I'm in looks like an older version of white Jesus. And I'm just like, well, I mean, it seems if there's one person who I should follow in terms of my spiritual guidance, I think the guy who looks like the Jesus I grew up with is like definitely a good choice, right? And to be clear, I think Thomas Hubel is great, and I want to believe that if he wasn't in alignment with God and didn't love God so much, but still looked like young white Jesus, that I want to say I would have enough connection to the spirit to know, like, no, Chimdi, do not follow this white devil. I want to say that, but that's what I'm trying to unpack in this video, is that I actually don't know if that's true because I don't know how deep it goes. Because I was reflecting on like some of my favorite musicians, and I'm really just thinking of Hozier because I actually love a lot of different music and love a lot of different artists. But an artist who I really love is Hozier. And Hozier, in some lights, looks like young white Jesus. And I was showing my sister a photo of that actor, Aaron Taylor Johnson, him. I was showing her a picture of him because I think he's very attractive. And she was like, oh, you really do have a thing for white Jesus. And I was like, yeah, I think so. I think it's a I guess what I'm wondering is like, we can't really exist outside of our culture and outside of our upbringing. Like who we are is a mix of the Holy Spirit and the light and our soul and all of that mixed with our body. And our body is in fact millions of years of evolution, including the evolution and the culture from our ancestors and from our parents and from the environment, which all infuse that. And so I guess I'm wondering like, how much freedom do I really have and the kinds of things I'm attracted to if like all of these levels of like, I want to use the term manipulation, like is encoded in my DNA and in my system that affects my ability to discern, you know? Because I think that's what I'm a bit alarmed by, is if I'm out in this world and I meet a man in real life who looks like white Jesus, and I'm just like, wow, something about you is really turning me on. And it's like, it's not about him, girl. It's about your whole thing with white Jesus that you don't, that you're not conscious of. And I think I'm conscious of it on one level because I can recognize it's a thing, but I'm not so conscious of it to not be moved by it and to not still be attracted to people and musicians and like spiritual teachers who have that kind of look. And I want to say, to give myself credit, I really want to say that I don't think it's just the look, because like I said, I have many a spiritual teacher that I really admire. I love well, let me try to think of one other example. Let me think of one other example, and none are coming to mind. But a lot of other musicians that I love and I find very attractive. Lots of other, you know, actors who I think are hot. Lots of people who I think are hot who don't look like white Jesus. So I want to say that it's not, like I said, it's not, the hold isn't all the way on me. I think my concern is that I would meet someone in real life who looked like white Jesus and truly would not be able to break free, you know? And I just want to talk about that. I just want to talk about that with y'all, you know? Because I wrote it down. I wrote it down as a list of YouTube ideas, and just saying it made me laugh out loud. And so I'd be curious for you all, did you grow up with spiritual figures who matched your race and your ethnicity? Or did you get like the whitewashed European version of things? And have you spent time with how that's affected your relationship to the Europeans and to white people and to white men? Or have you not given it any thought? And this video is the first time you're thinking about it. I remember I was talking to someone who did remote year, and she was reflecting on how she was in some of the European countries and she was looking at some of the men, and she was like, oh wow, all of these men are really statuesque. Like that's what came to mind, was these men are very statuesque. And then she was like, wait, that's because the statues I've seen have looked like these men. Like if we saw more statues that feature different phenotypes and feature different facial features, we would think those people were like, wow, they're like a statue. But it's because we've just seen the images, depending on your education system, like I said, and your upbringing, we've seen the images that just sort of glorify a certain type of look. And I guess I'm just kind of scared that there's a lot happening all of the time, and I'm aware of like a fraction of 1% of it, and all of the history and culture and life and evolution up until this point is influencing all of my decisions in really minute ways that I have no awareness of, and there's really nothing I can do, and that seems wrong. It seems like I should be able to do something about it. Because truly, as I reach over back again to my white Jesus, like, I'm a legit fan. Like, I love white Jesus because I grew up with white Jesus, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Arguably, the fact that he was not a European arguably the mistruth of him not looking like this, maybe. I was just thinking, because sometimes I'm like, I just read Autobiography of a Yogi. It's great, highly recommend. In it, people stay popping out of nowhere, you know, like someone's minding their business, pop out, you know, some guru, some this person, some that person appears, and they have a whole little conversation. And as I was reading this, I was reflecting, like, do I want Jesus to like pop in and visit me? Like, would that freak me out? And I think for sure, like, I want to say it wouldn't, but I'm not there yet. If I was minding my business and Jesus just like popped into my existence, it would freak me out. But I realized it would freak me out not only because someone just appeared out of nothing, but because it wouldn't look like white Jesus. Like, it would just look like some person who I would not recognize Jesus from when he was here the first time if he rolled up, you know? And I'm so and I'm so glad this video is coming out around Resurrection Sunday, because it's so spot on, you know, with what we're going through. What we're going through as a culture. But yeah, I just really don't know. I really don't think I'd recognize Jesus. And it's just wild to think about, you know, loving someone so much and then not knowing them on sight. And of course, hopefully I would know Jesus by his energy. This is such an interesting video. This video is about how will I recognize Jesus when he appears to me out of nowhere, as if that's definitely gonna happen. And I just love that that's the world I'm living in. And I love that I'm back to making YouTube videos like this. So I feel like I was taking my YouTube very seriously, you know, and it was becoming less fun. It was actually like a whole thing. I was gonna make a whole video about how I had to like coach myself into like, why are you having resistance to making YouTube videos? Why is it feeling like dragging your feet and all the different stuff? And I think it was in part because I forgot that you could just like record whatever and put it on the internet. And if people resonate with it, awesome. And if they don't, that's cool too. Like, it's fine. So yeah, let me know, y'all. I mean, am I the only one walking this path related to like Jesus? Like, are you with me on this? Do you understand what I'm going through or not? It's fine either way, but yeah. Okay, that's it. That's it. So follow me on my Coaching by Chimdi Instagram. Join my newsletter, sending it out every week now. Thank you, Patreon people, for being the sexiest. Thank you, subscribers, for also being very hot. I love you. And of course, thank you, Jesus. OG Jesus and white Jesus, for holding your girl down. I love you. Okay, bye.